Onward we march with all our might. Khuddam-ul-Ahmadiyya. Onward we march with one.
We welcome you all to another episode, though it's not a studio discussion, but there's a formal session where we get the opportunities to ask questions. As Mahmoud Saab rightly mentioned, that in here, those who are coming to talk to us, they are not just going to lecture us and walk away. We have the opportunity, and that's the main reason why the panel discussions has been introduced, so that you get the chance to ask those questions which you later on wouldn't go home and say, oh, I didn't get the opportunity to know more about this or that. That's why we have this panel discussion right now. And today, inshallah, we will have with us the National Coordinator of Waqf-e-Nau Ghana, in the person of Hafiz Maulvi Abdullah Muhammad Sani Sahib. Hafiz, please come to the stage. And Allahu Akbar. Also, we will welcome our former Sadr Sahib in the person of Mr. Hanif Bipua Esquire Sahib. You're also welcome to the stage. And then we will have a Waqf-e-Nau to be part of this session, who will also help share his own journey. And that is Mr. Ishaq Mohammed Ahmed. Mr. Ishaq Mohammed Ahmed, please, you are welcome to the stage. Jazakumullah for your time. As time is fast spent, we will just move on straight with the discussions. And Hafiz Sani Sahib is the National Coordinator for Waqf-e-Nau. So anything concerning Waqf-e-Nau that you would want to know, though we have a topic, yes, but we know that you also have so many things to ask. You can feel free, you just raise your hand, even now. We will give you the opportunity to ask whatever you want to ask. But I will, then again, we have Esquire Sahib, Hanif Bipua Sahib, who has been our formal Sadr Sahib. And then we have a teacher of Real Amas, and he also is a Waqf-e-Nau himself, in the person of Mr. Muhammad Ahmed Sahib. So I would go on with the first question, and after that, I will come back straight to the audience for you to ask anything that you would want to ask. Today's topic is going to be on the Waqf-e-Nau scheme itself, and there are so many things that we would want to learn from this scheme, that inshallah we have our people here who are well versed with the scheme, and inshallah they will help us with that. Now, Hafiz Sahib, you are the national coordinator. We want to know the spiritual vision of this Waqf-e-Nau scheme, and then what are the expectations of the parents and then the children who want to be in this particular scheme.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah. The spiritual vision you asked about is what our beloved Imam has been directing us and guiding us on. And that is as part of the moral training of the children, there is a syllabus designed for their moral training, for them to better their knowledge, particularly the religious aspects as they grow. That's one step. And the other one, we organize activities where we interact with the Waqf-e-Nau and Waqafat-e-Nau together with their parents, to remind the parents to ensure that whatever guidelines that are coming from our beloved Imam are well implemented. This is because if we leave the parents out, there is no way we'll be able to achieve anything. And because the house, as I always say, is a subset of the entire universe. So whatever happens in the house affects the whole world. And so parents have that responsibility in the upbringing. And so everything about the moral training is within the syllabus. And you have a booklet that's guidelines for Waqf-e-Nau parents on how to raise them. There are a lot of things enumerated, which I cannot mention all of them here because of time, for want of time. And so, and the other aspect, what we are also trying to come up with regard to the Talim aspect of the Waqf-e-Nau is with the data available to us, soon inshallah, we are trying to see if we can get teachers, permanent teachers, to be teaching them so that we monitor their studies. Basically, there are a lot of things, but these are some of the things we are trying to do to uplift their morality.
So if we have 3 chairs just behind our foreign delegates, the empty chairs which have been reserved for anyone who is having any question. So when I see that the seats are filled, then we will go for questions from that side. So if anyone is having a question, you kindly move to that seat just behind our foreign delegates, and then we'll give you the opportunity to ask your question. Please, this session is for you. Ask your questions before you say later on that, oh, we didn't get the opportunity. You've been given the opportunity today. Kindly ask anything that you would want to ask. We have 2 people. Okay, we will move on with the next question, and we will hear from former Sari Saab. With regards to a Waqf-e-Nau parent, this question is very, very important because mostly people think that when we put someone in the scheme, it's only the person. He has to concentrate and then become a better person. But as a parent, how do you nurture your love for Salat as well as the Jamaat activities in your everyday family life?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. I'm grateful for inviting me and thank you for that question. So, in my own experience as a parent of Waqf-e-Nau, generally what I do is I make the most special of conversations about Waqf-e-Nau and I name it. I mention the name of Waqf-e-Nau in any conversation that I want to tell the kids that matters to me. For instance, if it is about their dressing, I make sure I tell them that because you are Waqf-e-Nau, you must dress properly for prayers. If one of them has not performed ablution, because they are kids, the grandparents are trying to let them pray that way, I'll say, no, we'll wait for you. Go and perform ablution and come. The girls amongst them will come, and they want me to dress them with the veil. I'll patiently dress them with the veil myself. And so you try to make special what they are in every conversation, even in Salah. Now, when it comes to prayers, I have made sure that each of them has a dedicated prayer mat. And if they mix it up, there will be confusion in the house. So because of that, there's love for coming for Salat. The smaller one even wants to pray with me. As of now, she's still permitted to pray with me. She's just about 3. So she will lay her mat on mine, and we share my prayer mat. I have no problem. It's a small one. But at least it makes her want to participate in the prayer because she will get to pray by Papa. Then again, you will notice that whenever I travel and I am coming back home, I buy something special for prayer. For the boy, I always make sure I buy him a hat, special one. And he always wants to wear it. Because of that, he will participate in Salat. Again, I have made calling them for Salat in a signature form, in my language, because they are still learning my own language. So whenever I want to call them for Salat, I don't use their regular language, I use mine. So many people do not understand what I have told them, but they alone understand. Then they start telling their friends, Papa say mbaya sorry, Papa say mbaya sorry. Then they run so much. So I try to create something fun about coming for Salat. So all the time they will come once I call them. Another thing is I make sure even as we pray, they learn the number of rakats in the process of prayer. When we finish, I said, how many more are we going to do for Sunnah? Then this one will say 2, this one will say 4. I said, today you are correct. So you create that competition in learning about Salat. Then they learn it. Finally, on the learning of the Holy Quran, what I've done is that as myself, I benefited from some elders, I restrict myself to certain short surahs, which I have been using whenever we are praying together. And they have memorized the surahs by that. So now every day after prayers, I make sure that they will begin to recite all the surahs. Then if it's Maghrib, the girl will do it, Isha, the boy will do his. Then when we finish, all of them will do the dua Huzur has asked us to do. And even the 3-year-old now can tell the name of Prophet Messiah and the second Khalifa, at least these two, your own name, Hazrat Mirza Bashir Mahmud. She's able to mention these because every day we practice them immediately after Salat. So these are the things I think parents can do to inculcate the love for Salat and the study of the Holy Quran in the Waqf-e-Nau kids.
Jazakumullah, Former Sarasa rightly mentioned. That tells us that we, the parents ourselves, we should love the Salat so that we'll be able to inculcate that in our children. Please, if you could start with the questions. You kindly rise to the mic and then ask your question. Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Please, my name is Abbas bin Tariq from Western Region, Takwada Zone. It's a matter to be precise. My question is, let's assume that I have Waqf-e-Nau. So let's assume that you've given him or her the moral training she or he needs. And then we know these days that when our children go to school, and if care is not taken, they will graduate and come home with their own God. So as a Waqf-e-Nau guardian or father or parent, let's assume that you've tried your best. You've talked to them. Some of them may change their new God away and embrace their former God, that is the God of Ahmadiyya. What happened to those who refuse to accept Islam? The 3 years they have spent in school, you would know that they have another God there. But when they come home, they worship with you. So you know they are Ahmadi Muslims, they are with you. But at the school, they have a different God. Most of the schools, especially the Christian schools, when our kids go, if you are not careful, they will come home and then all they know is Jesus, 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 and everything Jesus. They will come back from school and they will greet you good morning. You have to question them. So I want to know, as a guardian, what will you do when you are in that situation?
Jazakallah for the question, inshallah, to be rightly answered. Please, if you have another question, you can ask. Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Sharif Adam Mensa from Asante region, Asaf Sekit. My question is, what is the importance of Waqf-e-Nau and why it is being instituted? And I want to know what makes the difference of being a Waqf-e-Nau child. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. So as I mentioned earlier on, if you have a question, you kindly take that seat. It's an empty seat reserved for those who want to ask questions. So those who are just coming, if you want to ask a question, you kindly move to that seat. Before we answer those questions, I would want our brother Muhammad Ahmad Sahib, he is a Waqf-e-Nau himself. We would want you to also share with us some of the practices or some of the habits from your parents or even the Jamaat activities that you engage in, the Jamaat programs, which have helped you for you to be still engaging yourself in this blessed scheme.
This institution it was initiated in 1987, and fortunately for me, I was born within that year. Around 2000, my father told me that I have been enrolled in Waqf-e-Nau scheme. Thus, he has given me to Islam. We were about 11 at far and 3.
Sorry to cut you short, but due to the challenges, let's answer the questions and then we will come back later for that answer. So, Hafiz, we would start with the second question. Why Waqf-e-Nau at all? And what is the difference? What makes the child special?
Okay. Why Waqf-e-Nau? The fourth Khalifa rahimahullah, he said that just as all of us know, Ijtema'a Ahmadiyya is spreading and the responsibilities are also becoming huge. And you need some dedicated members of the Jamaat to shoulder these responsibilities. And not just any member of the Jamaat, but you need trusted members within the Ahmadiyya community who are well versed, groomed, morally, spiritually, physically fit, and ready to embark on this important exercise. That is shouldering the cumbersome task of the Jamaat. And it is not easy to just pick any khadim and train the person for that purpose. All of us sitting here, if we are called upon for any responsibility at all, some of us will be hesitant to even step forward. So the fourth Khalifa Rahimahullah says that there is a need to have an already well-prepared army, a standby army. If indeed a nation wants to progress, you must have a standby army that is ready to attack when the command is given. And so that is why the Waqf-e-Nau was initiated, so that these youngsters, both the ladies and the guys, are trained from childhood, so that when they grow, it becomes easy for the Jamaat because they become trustworthy people. The Jamaat can rely on them at any point in time. The Jamaat knows that they will not fail them when they are called upon. So that is the main reason why the Waqf-e-Nau scheme has become so much important. And in fact, our Sadr Sahib is here, and he can testify, and our former Sadrans, we've heard the complaints that some of us, I mean the Khuddam, whenever we are being called upon for any position to serve, we run away. It's a reality. But with a Waqf-e-Nau, they will not, because they know that is their work. From the very onset, they've been told. And they themselves, that's when they are 15 years, there's a form for them to fill. And at this point, it is you, the Waqf-e-Nau, who is dedicating yourself. It's not your parents any longer. And so the person is well informed and well equipped. So they won't offer excuses when they are called upon. And so it is very important. And like I said, the reality today has exposed us that indeed we need a ready army. And that's why Waqf-e-Nau comes in.
And that is why the Waqf-e-Nau scheme is a special and blessed scheme. To Hanif Bipur Sahib, the second question, or the first question rather, he is talking about schooling. Mostly, when we talk about schooling, we refer to those who attend the Christian schools. Per what he was saying, it looks as if those who attend the Christian schools, but even nowadays, those who attend the Jamaat schools, some of them still, at the end of the day, are not able to cope with the Jamaat institutions or the Jamaat system. So what should the parents do in such circumstances, being both those who attend non-Islamic schools and those who are attending Jamaat schools but are still failing to proceed with the Jamaat instructions?
Jazakallah. That the question has been phrased in a very complicated manner, but I understand it simple. First of all, we ought to understand that life throws a lot of trials at us that we cannot predict. The future cannot be predicted. And so the fate of your children is in the hands of Allah. And so the first thing I talk about is the fact that from the word go, you ought to devote a lot of time to pray for your children after you have done the dedication to the scheme. That Allah should help you train them and also guide the children all the days of their lives so that they may stay true to the dedication, especially after the rededication that Moses have talked about. But even most importantly for this conversation, I would challenge my brother that for most of these children who find the challenge of being at the risk of leaving Jamaat in the future, their parents did not have time for their training. It's the fundamental truth. I would hazard to say, even though I do not have any empirical evidence, but I would guess that, from my experience, most of us do not pay attention to training our children anymore. And Maulvi Sahib will attest to that in his reports, that many parents do not pay attention to training their children according to the Waqf-e-Nau syllabus. Many of us here are culpable in this particular allegation. And because we do not take time to train our children under our wings from childhood, they are not able to inculcate the training about Jamaat in them at the youthful age. So at the early ages of, say, being a Tifl or being a Nasrat, they ought to be able to learn all these things. The purpose of being in Waqf-e-Nau, learn basic Islamic knowledge and knowledge about Ijtema'a. When they have done these things, they are no more at risk. Even if they attend a bishop's school, they are not at risk because of the level of understanding they have. Well, sir, truth be told, Islam-Ahmadiyya is the easiest to understand. Our teachings makes Islam more logical and understandable, and the risk of your child crossing over to any other faith is very low because theirs is more difficult to understand and abstract. So I will end my answer by suggesting that, yes, my own child, I'm facing challenges to let her veil when she goes to school. I have sought permission, but the proprietress of the school has not permitted yet. But I've not given up, because when she comes home, when we are going anywhere, whether traveling, whatever, she wears the veil, and I make her understand the reason why she has to wear the veil, and the reason why she has not yet been able to wear it when going to school. So she's satisfied with it. There's no fear that in future she will think wearing the veil is a problem. And so I would advise that we all rather pay attention to the tarbiyat of our children whenever they come back home from school. And the chances of getting into this difficulty may go away with prayers as well. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa Islam. Jazakallah. We will take the next question. Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
My name is Hamid Zakaria from the Ashanti region. And my question is, can one become a Waqf-e-Nau by him or herself? And can you suggest to your parents to make you a Waqf-e-Nau child? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Jazakallah. The question is very much clear. If anyone is having any question, you kindly move to the empty seats here just behind our foreign delegates in case you are now coming and you are new to the program. Mr. Muhammad Ahmed Saab, there was a question about some of the Jamaat things and then things in your family that makes you still want to be part of the scheme.
As I was saying, we all know Waqf-e-Nau was launched 1987, and good on my side, I was born within that year. But around 1999 to 2000, that was when my father told me he has sacrificed me to Islam-Ahmadiyya. We were about 11 at Far and Nasrat. But as time was going, out of the 11, only 3 people were able to join. The reason was, for the first time my father told me, I have dedicated you to Islam-Ahmadiyya. I didn't understand. But through his practice and convincing enough, I was able to understand and continue to join. We had so many series of Waqf-e-Nau meetings when I was at the early age of 10 years, 11 years, and I always participate. So I got more understanding and more knowledge about Waqf-e-Nau scheme. But the rest, when you ask them, why did you stop? That's why I couldn't join. But good on my side, my father was a missionary. So since from 4 years up to now, after Fajr, after Isha, you cannot run away without reading Holy Quran or Yasina Quran. So this thing put me on my toe that whatever my father have asked me to do, I have to continue on. So when I completed junior high school, then I entered into senior high school, I continued with this Waqf-e-Nau. We were doing Waqf-e-Nau meeting and conference. I was the only person I used to come at our age. the rest have stopped. We don't know the reason why, because of they are saying Sembeye Waqf-e-Nau, Ahmadiyya they make bar for year, and sort of things. They doesn't understand. So my father encouraged me a lot. So through his encouragement, I continued. And as I'm talking now, I'm getting to I'm late 30s, but he calls me every dawn. Hey, Kremo, oh yeah, sorry. I said, oh my yeah, working can Quran. When it's time for fasting, he will make sure that you read the whole of the Holy Quran before the end of the Ramadan. So this thing has really helped me to able to continue with my Waqf-e-Nau scheme. And through most of our rallies we have been held, our Mufti Sahib and Mufti Rahman, who is in Kumasi, has also taught us a lot about the importance of Waqf-e-Nau, not being only a missionary. You can be a lawyer, a doctor, any kind of work that the mission needs, not only a missionary. So this even encouraged me that, then I can be a teacher whilst I'll be a Waqf-e-Nau child. So this is what really inspired me to be.
Jazakumullah, that means that parenting is key when it comes to the upbringing of we the young ones in our societies. We have another question that we will take and then start with the answers.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My name is Mohammed Safar, and my first question stems from a comment that our brother just passed about some parents having that wrong notion that your Waqf-e-Nau children can only be Maulvis or Wali. So I want to find out what steps are being taken by the Secretariat to reorient such parents to dispel that notion. Then my second question also is about when you normally visit either Waqf-e-Nau conferences or meetings, you notice that they are mostly at Fal or Nasrat. So, but when we look at when the scheme was instituted, we should have Khuddam and Lajna being part of the scheme. So is it that as they grow out of the scheme or what? I want to get that understanding. Then my last question is, most parents have children who are Waqf-e-Nau and others who are not in the same house. As a parent, how do you manage this situation in order not to let those, especially who are not Waqf-e-Nau, feel that they are not special, as opposed to how you treat the Waqf-e-Nau children? Thank you.
Jazakumullah Jaza. Now we have a set of questions. We would start with Esquire Sahib on the one question, misconceptions that people are having on the Waqf-e-Nau scheme, that once you are being introduced to the scheme, you don't have any option, you have to be a missionary. He even mentioned that was one of the reasons why a lot of them left the scheme, because they thought they were only going to serve the Jamaat in that manner. So these misconceptions, kindly clear it for us.
And so, yes, as we have all alluded to, they are misconceptions. They are not factual. Yeah. Anyone who has been participating in the Waqf-e-Nau meetings organized by the office, the coordinator and the secretary, and even the Khuddam, the Muawin Sadr in charge of Waqf-e-Nau, in recent times, in the past couple of years, it is one of the major things they talk about. Even as we sit here, we have examples of medical doctors who are Waqfin. We have, and one of them is even a Hafiz in addition. He became a Hafiz, yet he managed to finish his medical school. He's an excellent medical doctor. And this is a teacher. We have many other, we have a social worker, our brother Naib Sadr Irfan Sahib. We have all manner of people who are part of the Waqf-e-Nau. So we are now using them as ambassadors, as examples for all others to know that they can aspire into various other fields of life and they don't have to be missionaries. But to answer his question more specifically, what really the department is doing is that, as I earlier indicated, it's one of the agenda of most of the meetings, yet another committee has been empaneled by the approval of our beloved Huzur. In fact, directive and approval. And there is this committee that has been set up by the department, also with the approval of our respected Amir Sahib, for issues concerning the careers of Waqf-e-Nau. We are now going to actively discuss with Waqf-e-Nau about the careers they want to go into, and then also advise them what careers Jamaat wishes they rather go into. Then we balance it out and see where their interest may lie, so that you have a win-win situation between what they want to do and what Jamaat feels is useful to them. So I believe adequate structures have now been put in place, and very soon we will see a lot more results in this direction.
Inshallah. Mr. Mohammed Saab, the gentleman asked that, can you become a Waqf by yourself? He wants to know. Sorry, can you become a Waqf-e-Nau by yourself?
No, I didn't become Waqf-e-Nau myself. I learned as at now, before you can be dedicated as Waqf-e-Nau, unless when your parents are, what do you call it, when you are born, that's when you can be dedicated. But as for me, when I was 9 years, and my father told me, but what I realized was that the scheme came before I was even born. So I still qualify to be a Waqf-e-Nau, if even my father informed me that he's dedicating me to Waqf-e-Nau. So it's through his teachings and his practice that helped me to be in it as I'm talking now. Yes.
Jazakallah. Now, Afisab, he asked that a lot of them, when they grow, they don't more associate themselves to the scheme. Do they grow out of the scheme?
Okay, I believe it's a deficit from our part. I mean, we the office bearers, and also part of it, the parents also share the blame. The training, because when I came into office, I've had to deal with a lot of issues. And the reason why most of the grown-ups, some of them, we've lost them. Some have become Christians, some have become whatever. Some don't subscribe to anything. Some through marriages, they left the Jamaat. So the problem is tarbiyat. And that is why my brother was emphasizing on the tarbiyat. And Huzur has been very serious about the tarbiyat. And one unfortunate thing which keeps recurring is the notion that once you dedicate your child, there is no need to train the child. It has become like, that's not the issue we are dealing with. Parents would just dedicate the child, and that's it. They fold their arms and sit there. It's when we call them later, then they say, I have this problem. And I'm like, then why don't you call the office? You wait for us to call you before you lodge complaints. You see, that is why the foreign Khalifa Rahimahullah said that, he used an Urdu word. He said in India, Pakistan, that there's a statement which goes like this, that make the child bad and hand him over to a prison officer. You understand? Yes. So you make the child bad, hand him over to the prison officers. What it means is that when the child goes bad, definitely you go to prison. That is where you'll be treated. You go through so many things before you come out to become a normal human being once more. So in the Jamaat, there's that perception where some parents think that let us dedicate the bad child. Even the same thing with Jamia. Let's dedicate the child that is bad. Maybe perhaps there's some kind of miracle in the Jamaat. So if we dedicate the child, automatically the child becomes good. It's a wrong notion within the Jamaat members. And so the same thing we see being played out in recent times, where parents of Waqf-e-Nau, after dedication, they take themselves out of responsibility and they think that the office should do the work. but the children are not staying with me. They are staying with you. How do I train them? So that is why we want the parents to understand that it is your responsibility. As an office, we will organize programs once in a while to meet them. But at the end of the day, when they go wayward, it is you who will miss the blessings. And so, once again, the responsibility goes back to the parents. And I will request that let us help the office so that together we can train them. In fact, recently I had to deal with one issue where a lady wanted to leave the scheme because her complaint was that she wanted a job and the Jama'a didn't employ her. And so because of that, she wanted to leave the scheme. So I had to find a way to talk to her and then advise her, and then took some time to educate her before she rescinded of her decision. So the parents has a responsibility to play.
So the parents surely have a responsibility to play. Esquire, we want to find out if you are having children who are Waqf-e-Nau, and then those who unfortunately are not part of the scheme, their treatment at home, how should it be?
It's a very tough one because I have no experience of that. And because of the fear for that, which I have dedicated all three to Waqf-e-Nau, so I can speak without fear of maligning one or the other. Allah. And so a quick one on what my brother, the answer he gave about not being able to join Waqf-e-Nau when you've already been born. It's good the gentleman is aware that you can still be a Waqf Zindagi.
Yes.
Like the Molvi himself. I believe you are not Waqf-e-Nau, but you are Waqf Zindagi. Because he has now devoted himself to Ijtema'a after his birth on his own volition. The third category is us, myself, Sadr, former Sadr. We are not in any scheme, but yet we are devoted and we are doing the work. Even as we are businessman, lawyer. I mean, we are doing it. So you can do many other things. And Sinewa Abedu says he's a fantastic man, not a missionary, but like Waqf Zindagi. Back to the question, because I don't have a very good answer for it, that's why I took some time. What I can advise you to do is that you cannot use the language of special on the Waqf-e-Nau. What you must do is that teach all of them the Waqf-e-Nau syllabus, because the Waqf-e-Nau syllabus is superior to any other syllabus. Train them all together. If you want to use any language that is going to make someone special, you ought to make it look like in a competition. You let them compete. If one excels the other and the person is Waqf-e-Nau, you can tell the person, keep it up, because you particularly, you have some duties ahead of you. And so that the one who is not Waqf-e-Nau may now also want to excel like the one who is Waqf-e-Nau. When they have grown, it's no more difficult to let them understand what the differences in their duties are. But to finalize it, let them understand what I have already said, that even when you are not Waqf-e-Nau, there's even a more excellent opportunity for you to distinguish yourself. Like some of us who are nothing in the sense of scheme, but we are able to devote ourselves. You can do any other thing, but try to please the Khalifa of the time by way of being devoted. If you use some of these languages without using the special in their childhood, maybe you can navigate this fight you have created for yourself.
Inshallah, inshallah. I was not going to take any question, but I saw the Sadr of Burkina Faso sitting, and I have no choice. Please, your question.
So I am Abdurrahman Khuddam, Sadr Mulk, Majlis Khuddam-ul-Ahmadiyya, Burkina Faso. So before asking my question, I want to thank the initiators of this specific program. Sincerely, I find it very impressive. So my question is to know, in the Jamaat we have already another scheme, dedication program called the Waqf Zindagi. So my question is to know why the scheme of Waqf-e-Nau, while already having the scheme of Waqf Zindagi program. And the second one, I have another second one. is to know what is the difference between the two schemes, the Waqf-e-Zindagi programs scheme and the Waqf-e-Nau scheme. What is the difference between them? Jazakumullah.
Jazakumullah khairan jazaa. So with the question of our service of Burkina Faso, I think we wouldn't take any other question. Sorry, Malik Saab. So this, Mavi Saab, you rightly heard. What's the difference between these schemes? And if they are all scheme of devotion, why don't we just have the Waqf-e-Zindagi? After all, it's the devotion of life. Why do we have to also have Waqf-e-Nau scheme?
Okay. The Waqf-e-Nau scheme that the fourth Khalifa Rahimahullah launched, he didn't just sleep and wake up and launch the scheme. He gave a background. In fact, the Waqf-e-Nau we are talking about didn't start 1987. Waqf-e-Nau had been in existence since the creation of the heavens and the earth. It's just that in recent times, it has been institutionalized. And the fourth Khalifa Rahimahullah said that, like I said earlier, if you look at the Waqf-e-Zindagi, so the basic difference is that a Waqf-e-Nau is like those who are dedicated before birth. And Waqf-e-Zindagi is when you come into this world and based on whatever training your parents, the orientation that you have, if you are interested to serve the Jamaat or to serve the religion of Allah, you voluntarily, without any force, you go and dedicate your own life on your own, not your parents doing it on your behalf. But with the Waqf-e-Nau, your parents do it on your behalf. And the fourth Khalifa Rahimahullah gave the incident of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and that of the mother of Mary, when she equally prayed and then told God that I'm dedicating whatever that is in my womb to thy service, right? So that is the genesis of Waqf-e-Nau. And so, and again, with Waqf-e-Nau, if we are able to train these youngsters now, it will help the Jamaat a lot. And Huzur has been saying that they have the responsibility and the duty to bring about total change in the world. We want to train such youngsters so that if they understand their responsibility from the very onset as they go to school, they will become like Zafrullah Khan, radiallahu anhu, and the likes. Those are the Waqf-e-Nau we want to produce. So that, as Huzur said, if we have a lot of Jesuses being born in this time and age, then Islam will be conquered within the blink of an eye. And because Allah had made a promise to the promised Messiah ﷺ that 300 years shall not pass when Islam would have gained dominance in the world. Now, the question we should all ask ourselves is, and I always give the example, that take Upper West, for example. If all the people in Upper West become Ahmadis right now, those of us sitting here, are we ready for the impending responsibilities? That is the bigger question. It's not about conquering, it's about our readiness. Are we ready is a question. It's not whether Islam will conquer. Islam will definitely conquer. But are we ready? Are we well prepared? Such that when the Khalifa says, go here and do tarbiyat, we will not be waiting for money to be given before we go. If we have to walk, we will walk and go and do it. Are we those people? Yeah. So that is why the Waqf-e-Nau is important. Exactly. So that when we prepare them, they will not offer excuses. Unlike Waqf-e-Zindagi, there is difference. They are well groomed and trained from childhood. So they can be more reliable at any point in time compared to any other member in the Jamaat.
Jazakumullah khairan. This is where time will allow us for the Waqf-e-Nau session of today's panel discussion. Jazakumullah for your time. We'll say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We still have other sessions coming, so please be seated. Jazakallah.